In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a WordPress blog, and in this blog, you'll be in position to build everything right from ground up, and you won't have to know any coding skill. And in this case, you'll be in position to add a number of elements, number of pictures, to have a footer, to be in position also to add an about me page where your visitors can visit and read about you and whatever you do and the services probably you can provide them. At the same time, you can have publications, for example, where you have been featured or any kind of books that you have written and all that stuff. At the same time, you will have your blog right here, whereby you will have an archive of everything that you have been writing about. And at the same time, you'll have different categories on your blog. And that means you can be in position to categorize everything that you write about, whether it's about your personal life, business. And that means that if you go to the single blog posts, you'll be in position to write, publish, edit, and create this kind of layout for your blog post where you have a featured image. At the same time, you can add a number of images inside there. You can add a video, and you can add a lot more other things. And also, I'll show you how to have this kind of sidebar, including a search option. And also, you'll be in position to add a contact me page. And that contact me page, that means people will be in position to reach out to you via email. And I'll show you how you can create a contact form like this step by step, and also having a professional email under your name or your website administrator so that your clients can easily contact you directly using your website email. And at the same time, I'll show you how to add such a call to action like a button of hire me, subscribe here, or something like that, so that you can easily grab your visitors' attention. And I'll also show you how you can add such a pop-up on your blog so that you can also grab more leads into your website. It can be like a subscribe form. It can be a video like this that your visitors can watch once they intend to leave your website. All that will be done in this video, which is less than 2 hours, by just dragging elements, and you don't need any technical skills. Hi guys, Hamza here and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a WordPress blog from step 1 to the very last step without any steps skipped. Let's dive straight in. So to create a WordPress blog, you need the basics, and one of the basic things that you need is actually a domain name and a hosting space. A hosting space is basically where your website files will be seated so that anyone around the web can access your website. There are so many web hosting companies, but I recently partnered with HostGator, which is one of the best hosting companies. And in this case, I got you a 60% coupon on sign up for the very first year. And then that means that you'll be saving about 60%, and then you'll be having a possibility to actually get a domain name and host your website, and then you can get started. When you come to the HostGator website, you have a chance to get domain names, you have a chance also to get web hosting. But in this case, we'll go directly to the web hosting option, and that will bring you directly to this section. And in this section, you have packages that you have to select from, like the Hasheling plan, the baby plan, the business plan. But in this case, we'll go only for the Hasheling plan. So with the Hasheling plan, it comes with a couple of interesting features. It is the basic one, which I recommend that you start with since we're just starting out, so that you get conversant with the platform and test out things, and in case anything works out well, then you can upgrade to a bigger or better package. But what we'll need now to install after we get our hosting plan is WordPress. And once we are done there, then it means we are going to come direct here where we are going now to sign up and pay for this hosting package. This is where you'll use the coupon code, which I'm going to provide you with. Once you get here, then you have to register a domain name. A domain name is basically the name that people use to access your website from wherever they are in this world. So you feed it in right here, and once it's available here, they will show you that it's actually available. And if it's not available, you can just keep trying different other options for a domain. Then once it's available, then you can continue to the next section, but also you have the possibility to select which extension you want. In this case, you can select like .com, .online, .site, .store, .website, .host, and a lot more other extensions. So it's all about what you want. And once you are done with that, then you come right down here to the choose hosting section. Then here we are going to choose the Hasheling plan, and we'll use the 12 months for a starter. You can also select for 1 month, for 6 months, for 36 months. It's all up to you, but I would recommend 12 months because then you can get a chance to test out the platform, and in case it doesn't work out for you, well, you can move out to another platform, but I know HostGator will really work well for you. Then here you can choose a username that you're going to be using to log into your cPanel and a security pin that will actually help HostGator verify your account. And then here you enter your billing details, your email address, your first name, then your company name, location, address, and then here you'll select a payment type. In this case, we're going to use a credit card, but in case you are having a PayPal account, then you can link it right here. Then here you can add your card details, including the card name, the card number, the CVV code, and the expiry. Once that is done, we can come over here to the additional services. Here you don't need to tick any of the additional services. Once you check any of these additional services, then you're going to add on the amount of money that you will be billed. So since we don't need them at the moment, we won't check any of them, or actually if you find them, check them, uncheck them, so that you are not billed an extra amount of money for a service you're not going to use. And then at this section where you enter a coupon code, this is where you will have to enter the coupon code GoTech UG60, which will actually give you a 60% discount for this purchase that you're going to make. And once you are done, just come right down here, agree to the terms, and check out. Once you check out, then you're going to get an email from HostGator, and you'll get logins to a cPanel account, which will look something familiar to this. And this is the cPanel where you will actually be in position to manage your website files and a lot more other things. But basically what we need to do here is, one, we are going to go right down here to the software class app installer. We are going to select WordPress. Once we select WordPress, we come just here to say install. And once you are here, this is the start of installing WordPress on our server, and the WordPress is basically the software you're going to use to build your website. You have the option to select the version of WordPress you're going to install. We just leave it to the default one, and you leave this at HTTP because we aren't going to install an SSL at the moment, and automatically your domain will be selected. And when we come down here to the site settings, then here you have to enter your site name. It may be whatever blog you're going to create under your names or whatever. So I'll name this to be Digital School Blog. And then a coaching platform for beginners. So then once you are done there, then we are going to add the username, which will be the username we use to log into our WordPress website, and the password. So in this case, I'm going to enter in a password, and this is going to be our password. I'll leave the username to be just admin, and the email address I'm going to leave it at that default one, because in this case, in case I'm receiving any notification from my cPanel, then HostGator is going to use my email address that I provided when I'm signing up for the cPanel platform. But once again, we can also change this email address because this is what WordPress is going to be using to send you notification. We can change it once we are signed into our WordPress dashboard. So once you are done setting up right there, the site language, you just leave it at default, or you choose the language that you want to use on your website. Once you are done, then you just say install. Boom! Now we have installed WordPress on our hosting platform, and that means also HostGator is going to send us an email address to our email telling us that we have installed WordPress, and these are the installation details. So to access our website dashboard, where we are going to be making all these edits on our website, we just have to click here on the administrative URL, which is this. It ends with wp-admin. Once I click on it, automatically I'm going to be taken to my WordPress dashboard, already logged in. What we need to do at the moment is, one, go back to our cPanel, we sign out, then we close all the other windows where we have finished making purchases, and then we also close this other window, and now we are into our WordPress website. We need now to get familiarized with two things. One, logging into our WordPress website, and logging out. To log out, you begin with coming right down here on your right hand top corner, then you say log out. Once you logged out, just in case you're coming to visit your website, you basically enter your domain name / once you say / you say wp-admin. Once you say wp-admin, you will be brought to this login page. Once you come to this login page, then you enter your username that you used when you're installing WordPress and that password. So once you have that entered, then you say login. Boom! Now we have logged into our WordPress website. So once we are logged back into our WordPress website, we are going to do one thing at the moment. We are going to install a theme. A theme basically gives you a base at which your website sits. So to do that, we come to Appearance, Themes, and we are going to add new theme. And we are going to search for a theme called Astra. Astra is a lightweight theme. It comes both with a free and a premium version. So once the theme is installed, we activate. Once it's activated, now we can have a look at our website. And boom, this is how it looks like. Now we are going to add a couple of pages and also create a menu for our website. So to do that, we come to Dashboard. Once we are on Dashboard, we come right straight to Pages, Add New Page. And we are going to have a page called Home Page. We publish. We will have another page called Contact Page. And then we are also going to add another page called the Terms of Use. And we will publish. Once that is published, we will add another page called the Privacy Policy. All these pages are needed for a blog, so we publish and publish. Now we are going to create categories for our posts. Because this is going to be a blog page, that means we are going to be publishing posts and they will be going to a category. But before we actually create the categories for our posts, we are going to add one more other page, and that page is called the blog page. So we add the blog page and publish. Once the blog page is live, now we can go to posts and we are going to go to categories. Once we add categories, then here we can start creating our post categories. So we'll have a category called coaching, add new category, and we'll have another category called digital spaces, and we add new category, and another one called conferences, and we add that category. Now this means that whenever we publish a post on our blog, we will be in position to categorize it either to conferences, digital spaces, or coaching. Now what we need to do is to create a menu for our website or blog. So to do that, we come to Appearance, Menus. Once we are here, then we have to name our menu. And we say Create Menu. Once we create the menu, then we can view all the available pages. So we can add pages to our menu. We can arrange those pages the way we want. But also before we do that, we can add the categories that are going to appear on our menu. And now we can rearrange those categories or our menu items. So we'll have the home, conferences, coaching, digital spaces, blog, and contact. And then we can make this our primary menu and save. Once we have that saved, then we can come straight to our website and view how it looks like. Boom! Now we have our menu showing the conferences, coaching, digital spaces, blog, and contact pages. Now we are going to set up our home page, but to do that we are going to install a plugin that is going to give us a structure, or that is going to import an already existing website or a complete design website. And this plugin is called Astra Starter Sites. This plugin was made by Astra and it comes with already pre-made websites that you don't have to have any knowledge on how to design a website, and it gives you a very good outlook of how your website will look like, and you basically just have to customize. What you have to do is basically come to plugins, add new plugin, and you'll be here and you search for Astra Starter Sites. Once it is right here, you install, activate. So we are going to import a complete website from Astra Starter Sites. So once you are under here, you just say zip library. Then here we can select which page builder we are going to be using. A page builder, it helps you to build websites without having to write a single line of code. And this means that it gives you the ability to style your website the way you want, and also to give it any kind of facial outlook in any way you want. So the Astra Starter Sites are made to be compatible with any of these page builders, but we are going to be using Elementor, and we just basically have to select Elementor. We say next, and right here are already made websites or templates that you can just import and start working on your website. At the moment I'm going to use a free one, but if you have the Astra Pro version of the theme, that means you'll be having access to all these other websites. But in this case I want to show you using a free version, and then I'll provide you a link in the description where you can actually click in case you want to get the pro version and you get started. So we come to the free section and we have all these templates. They are all for free and I can select any of the themes. So I'll just go with this yoga instructor, and I have the possibility to select what I want to be imported with this website. So I'll just say import site, and this process will take just a couple of minutes. Once that is done, now we can view our website, and boom, this is what now our website looks like. Now I don't want you to overwhelm. There's a lot of information that I may not need for my website. That's all okay. We are going to customize everything and it's going to fit our website. So to get started, we come back here to our dashboard, and what we are going to do is come to appearance, customize. Now once we are here, we are going to go first straight to menus, then main menu, and these are all the menu pages that we are imported with this starter site. So what I'm going to do is, one, it looks like the theme came with already made pages, and this means that the ones we had created may not be relevant, which is actually okay. And this will take us to a step whereby we have to look at how do we delete existing pages. So we are going to go to our home page, come to dashboard, and once we are at the dashboard, we are going to go to pages, all pages, and this is basically going to display all the pages that were imported into our website from the already made site, and at the same time the ones that we created. So we are going to do one thing. We are going to delete the ones that we created, and basically we will just edit the ones that have actually been imported with the theme. So how do we identify the ones that we have created? Is by looking at the published date. So this is 10 minutes ago, because now we have already now 2 blog pages, the one that has been imported by the theme, which is already designed. Let me show you. We just have to customize a couple of things. So we are going to delete the ones we created 10 minutes ago, delete our contact. Should we really have to delete our contact? Does this lead to a contact page, the one called Get Fit? Yeah, it's actually a contact page. I'm going to delete the contact page and we leave the one that we have called Get Fit. Delete the home page and leave the one that has been imported in by the theme. We are going to delete the privacy page and we are going to stay with the one that is default by the theme. And then we are going to delete the sample page. And that's all for now. We come up here at the bulk actions, say move to trash, apply. that will take all the other pages to the trash. And when we come here, we can say delete and say delete permanently those pages. So we can come back here and we have these pages right here. So these are the pages that we have on our website. So what does that mean? When we go back now to our menu, this is what we have on our menu, and that means that we will have to recreate our menu or restructure our menu. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, delete that menu, and I'm going to create another menu. I'm just going to call it a new name, and I'm going to now go to pages, and I'm going to add the pages that I need. I need the home page, about me, blog, classes. I don't need get fit, which is actually the contact page, publications. That's all we add there. And then we are going to add this to the primary menu. We can reorganize these pages. So the page called Get Fit, we are going to rename it to Contact Me. And then publications, then we're going to leave the blog there. Maybe we move the blog down right here and we save. Once we save, our menu is going to change from what you see here to this other menu. Well, this looks pretty fine. So if we try to navigate our website, we have this is the about page. This is the publications page. This is the blog page, which has articles about whatever this website is or whatever you're blogging on. Then come to the contact page, which has the addresses and where people write to you and you're able to respond to them and all that stuff. So once you have that done, then we also have to add our categories to our menu, because we need whatever we're going to publish in our categories to appear on our blog. So we add to the menu our categories, and we can put them right here under publications, actually under blog. Then we also add another one, coaching and digital spaces, and then we save the menu. And now if we go to our website and reload our blog, you'll see that actually now a blog has a drop down. And what does that mean? That means that we can click over here or on the blog page. It will take us right here. And then we can click over here to digital spaces, and it will bring us to a category that will be having digital spaces blog posts. Now, when we click on the blog page, you see something here in the URL section that has blog-2. We don't want this to appear. It's not good for the search engine. We are going now to rename this page. We come back to our dashboard, come to pages, all pages, come to the blog page, and then you say quick edit, and then we are going to delete the slug. The reason why this happens is that when these pages were imported into our website, it found already an existing page that was using the slug called blog. So when another page is being added and it has the similar slug, then it is going to add another number on top of the one that is existing. So that's why it is, but now we are able to change it because we have deleted the blog page that was existing. Once we are done editing that, we can update. Once we update, when I come right here, I reload our page. Basically, I go back to the home page and come now, click to the blog page. Boom, it is fixed. So that's how it looks like. We now have to customize our website. So to customize our website, we can do that by starting with uploading our own logo. Since now we have our own menu, so we can upload our own logo. We can do a little bit of changes to our menu and the colors, and then we can do changes here on the home page and show you around how you can also implement a number of elements right here on the home page and add new sections. So let's see how we can do that. We basically have to come back to our dashboard, and we are going to go to appearance and go to customize. So once we are here on the customize, we have these features to select from and choose how our website is going to appear and look like. So we start with our global options. Then there's something called typography. Typography is anything to do with the types and styles of our website. And there's something called base typography. Base typography, the normal one is called Roboto and it's 400. The type size is actually 15. The font weight is 400. If you're not comfortable with this font, you can change it to a totally different other font. Let me say Montezurrat. And you see that actually this font here is changing once we are changing the font right here. So it all depends on what you want. So I'll leave it at what we change it to, and then come back here, come to headings. So here we can select how our headings are going to appear like. First we select a font family. So font family, I'll select Vanada for the headings. And remember, we have different kind of headings. Heading 1 is the biggest size of the heading, just like this. Also now we have heading 2 and we have heading 3 and heading 4. So depending on which section you're going to be using the heading sizes, you can change the sizes right from here. If all looks fine for you, well and good, this looks fine. So my headings are okay. I just hit publish to save. Then I can come back right here, come to colors, base colors, and now here I can switch to the colors that I want. And those colors are depicted in the logo that I have already made. So when I come to digital school logo, I'm going to have orange, green, blue as part of my colors. So I can just come over here, and then I'm going to select the theme color is this. I'm going to make it orange, something like that. And then I will go to the link color, give it the same, or I can actually give it another one, which is actually a green, this green. And then I'll go to the hover color, and I'll give the hover color a little bit a lighter green, like this. And then I'll say publish. It means that now all my links are going to change to these colors. So for example, the link color will change to this color. Don't be worried about this, because these are now based on the page builder that was used to build the home page. So we are going to work on that later on. So now we can go straight back, but before we go back, we have to copy these colors and save them somewhere so that we don't have to come back to the customizer over and over again. Once I have my colors set, I get back to the customizer, go back. Now we have the container option here and the typography. So we can set how big our website is going to be like. So big, I mean in the width. So at the moment, our website looks so wide, and I want it to be a little bit about 900 pixels in the width so that it doesn't stretch over to all the width. So I'm just going to come right here and change this to 900. I publish, and when I publish, I reload right here. It means that our headers are going to shift right inside here. Now when we start making the edits on the page builder, we'll make sure that everything on the page builder is going to be centered right within our container size. We can now select the layout, which is boxed. Page layout is default. Once that is done, then we can come to the buttons and we can set the buttons color right here. But since all our buttons are going to be on Elementor, we don't have to change anything here because we are going to change them on the page builder side. So we close that, then come to the header option, site identity. Now this is where we have the option to change our logo and upload one that we want. So we're going to remove this logo, select the logo, go to our upload section, go to where we have our logo from, and then we can upload our logo. So maybe you are asking, how did you get a logo and all that stuff? So you can actually just Google free logos, and then you can actually generate a logo for yourself or for your business, or you can basically use platforms like Upwork, Elance, or Fiverr to get someone who can make you a logo for about $5, $10, or even depending on what your budget is. So you can get your logo done. Right here after upload, it is asking us actually to crop our logo, but I don't want to crop this logo. Skip cropping, and boom, we'll have our logo right here. So now we go to the next section. Here it's asking us for a retina logo. I'll just remove this, we don't have a retina logo. And then it is also asking for the logo width. This is basically giving either the logo is taking up more space in the header or it's taking up less space in the header. So it depends on how you want it to be. So I'll make it something like 130 maybe. So the side icon is basically the icon that appears right here on top on the tab. So we are going to upload that. Come here to the upload section, select your side icon, get it right here, and then we are going to give it here a name. It's called favicon. I always advise you copy the title to the alt text. The alt text is basically the text that shows up once the image doesn't show up on your website in case of slow internet or anything like that. So this is how it's going to appear like in our tab. See right here. So I'll skip cropping, and boom, so we have our site icon right here. So we can save and publish, and then this is the site title. So we can change this from digital school blog to only digital school, and this is what I was telling you when we were installing WordPress. And here we have the option also to edit our site tagline. So I'll just leave it as it is, publish. Now we can go straight back here. Then on the menu, primary menu, we can choose how our menu is going to appear like on our website. And that means we can choose whether our logo is on the extreme left or in the center or at the extreme right. So at the moment, I'll just leave it at the extreme left, and the width is content width. The logo will be content width. Where the content stops, that's where also the logo starts from. So you can change that to maybe to a full width, publish, and to the home page, reload. You see how that now looks like. For the header, it goes back right the other side, but now we want it to be on the content width. So we publish. So right down here you have options for the mobile header. How do you want your logo to appear? Should it appear in line, or it should appear in the stack format on the mobile version? That is for the header. So we want it to appear in line. So we can go back and then come to the primary menu. We have here the option to select the last item in our menu. Since this is going to be a blog, we would want to have like a quick hire me button. We can just say hire me. We just send them to our contact page. So we can set that link later on. And then the button style, we can choose whether to give it the style of the theme, or we give it to the header button. And right here we can change how our header button style is going to be like. So we can choose the colors. So we can say let the text be white and let the background be green. So we have already our green color. Just come over here and then select the background, fill in our green color, and yeah, we are good to go. We just leave all these at default. When we are making the final touches on our website, then we can come back and make the final settings once something is not working out. So once here everything looks fine, we publish. On our blog, we basically don't need to enable a transparent menu. You have the option to enable it on a desktop, on a mobile, or both of them. So we don't need anything to do from there. Then here we have the options to customize our colors and background, but since we are not enabling anything to do with the transparent header, we'll just get back here, go back straight. Then there is something called a breadcrumb. Breadcrumbs are basically indications that show you where you are at the moment. For example, if you're on the blog page, it will show you from home to categories to the blog. But at the moment, we don't want to show anything to do with the breadcrumbs. But here they say you can select whether they should appear inside the header, after the header, or before the title. So we'll just leave it at none. Then at the blog, so the blog archive, let me show you. When we come to blog page, when you look at this, the featured image, the title, and blog meta, featured image, title, and blog meta, the comments, category, and author will appear on the blog archive page. So then when we go back here, then the single post here, when we come right click here, we go to the single post. This is what it is like. So on the single post, it will show a featured image, that is if the featured image is available, and also it will show a blog and blog meta. Second, that is if the title is available. On this specific blog, we don't have, it is not showing a featured image, but we will see how also to go about that later on in this tutorial. And you can set all that. If you don't want the author to appear on the blog post, then you can basically hide the author not to appear. But if you want the author to appear on your blog post, then you can just enable the author, and also you can also enable the publish date, and then we publish. That means we are saving our settings. And then here we have the option to select the typography for the post and page title. We don't need to do anything right here. So we head back, and then we come to the sidebar. The sidebar is basically what appears on the side of your blog pages. Currently, our website has no sidebars, and even when I go to the blog archive, it has no sidebar completely. So maybe this is how they wanted it to be, but for me, I would have loved that on the single blog post we have sidebars right here. So I'll say on default we have no sidebar. So on pages we leave it at default, because default then means that the default layout is no sidebar. But then the blog post we have to set on right sidebar, and archives will leave it at default, and that means default is reflecting to no sidebar. And we can select how wide the sidebar will be. 30% is okay, because 30% is 30% of the page. So we say publish, and once we are here, reload on our single page, it should bring an option here for the sidebar. Now we have to select what is supposed to be on our sidebar option. To set the elements that appear on a sidebar, we come right here to the dashboard, and then come to appearance, widgets, and then this is the main sidebar. When you look at the main sidebar, we have the search, the recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta. So when you come here, we have the search, recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and meta. So we can add any number of items we want on the sidebar, or even remove. For example, we don't need the meta, but we want the categories to stay. So if we want to add maybe a gallery on this, we can just click right here and add the gallery, plus adding the images. For example, we come over to our media library, and we can add images to that gallery by selecting those images, and then you say create new gallery, and then we can select how to link those images to that gallery. Then we can say to maybe attachment page or none, and then we can give how many columns we want. So we can say maybe we want only 2 columns, and then we can choose to be random order and only display the thumbnails, but at the same time you have an option to select whether medium, large, or whatever you want. So I can leave it at thumbnail, insert into gallery. So that means we have added a gallery to our sidebar. So we can say digital imagery, and then we save. Once we come here, update, that means we are going to have on our sidebar a digital image array. So now we head back to our customizer. Since now we have set up the size of our sidebar, we can now head back here, come to the footer section, and then the footer widgets. So the footer is basically everything that appears down here. So as we look here on our template, we have no footer, but if we enable the footer that comes with Astra, which is actually the theme, we will have an option to add a number of widgets down here on our website. So these widgets can be added also right from our widgets area. So that means that we can drag over elements to the different sections of our footer. If we are to add footer widgets right here on our, it won't really look neat, and I wouldn't want us to have a footer right here, so I'll just leave it on the default one with no footer. We are going to go back here, come to footer bar, and we are going to enable this footer bar. So this is a footer bar that is enabled and it is already here. Okay, and then here it is showing that it's going to only show the text. So we have the possibility to select how the section is going to look like. But before we even go there, we also have an option here to select how our information is going to be displayed. Look at this information, is showing copyright digital school credits powered by digital school. But if we change to this, it means we are going to have the information kind of stacked to each other. So you see copyright digital school, and then right down there is powered by that. So we don't want to have that, so we'll have this, and then we can now edit this information right here. So for example, if you want to make sure that when someone clicks right here, this goes to the person who developed the website for you, or goes to a specific URL, you can set it right here. Say www.gotechug.com, and then here you can say, since this is credits to that person who is the designer, then you can give them those credits. So once someone clicks here, then they will be taken to the designer's website, and this is basically echoing in the current year for the copyright, which is 2019. So once it turns over to 2020, it will automatically go to 2020, and the site title is echoing the name of your blog. And on the other hand, the section 2 of the footer, it is echoing the powered by. It's bringing, if it's your hosting provider, or if it is yourself who is powering your own website, or your agency, so you can also set that here. And basically here it is echoing the site title, and then here it is a link that will basically go to your link to your website. So you can set that up here. You can say digital creative.design, powered by digital creative.design, and then the site title is actually digital school. Once you have your credits done, then you can just save and publish. Once you save and publish, come right back here to the menus which you already set up. We were already here, and we made the settings from the appearance section. But once you make settings right from here on the appearance section, they will directly apply to your customizer section. That's why you see that this menu looks very familiar to this menu. So we can just come back here, go back, and then go back here, and then the widgets. Your theme has 8 widget areas, but this particular page doesn't display them. You can navigate to other pages on your site while using the customizer to view and edit the widgets displayed on those pages. When I click on the blog archive, I think actually the blog archive doesn't have a sidebar, because that's what we said. We only said for the individual blog posts, which are the single blog posts. So when I click on a single blog post, obviously here it's going to show how we can actually edit our sidebars. Awesome, I love this. If I don't want to show the categories, I just come right here delete the category section. If I want to add another widget, just click here, add widget, and I can add another widget that I want. For example, if I want a calendar, I can add a calendar. And here we have a calendar, and we can move this widget up to a section that we want. So maybe here, after the search, we have the calendar, and then the recent posts, then the recent archives. Once you're done setting up your widget section, remember the widget section is only appearing on the pages we have set up in our customizer, that they should actually display a sidebar. So once you're done setting up this, publish, then head back straight here. The homepage setting should actually display a static page, which we already created in our pages section. And that means a static page is a page which is not frequently updated. It's not like a blog. So this is how it looks like. It's designed once and you only update it every other once in a while. But then the post page, it will be basically displaying our blog archive. Okay, so we will just now publish. Now when someone comes here and they click on the blog page directly, it will take them to the archives of our blog posts. And once they click on a single blog post, they will be taken right here. This looks so far so good. Now we can close over our customizer. Congratulations on fine-tuning your customizer and your website to get to this level. We have our home page set up, we have set up our footer, we have set up our buttons, we have set up our pages and links, and at the same time we have set up our widgets, and we have set up a size for our blogs, how they are going to look like. And if we go to the single pages, we have the sidebar and we have the widgets right here, and someone can read their stories or they can read your blogs nice and sweet. Since now we are done with the customizer settings, let's go and start editing our pages. So once you're done setting up your website, under the customizer settings, now you would want to make changes on your pages. Now, for example, this is the home page. So we are going to make our changes, like reducing the canvas size here to fit the 900 pixels we set in the width, and changing a couple of images here and the content on our home page to suit exactly how we want our website to look like. So to do that, we head back to our dashboard and we come to pages, and then we have to select the page that we want to edit. Right now we want to edit our home page, and we have to edit with Elementor. So once you are here and the page is opened up in Elementor, all these other elements, they are all made by the page builder, which is Elementor. And now that means we can now be in position to edit each of these sections. And once you click here on the section settings, you can come right here on the content width, and you can select how wide you want your content to be. So we want our content to be 900 pixels. So once we preview right here, this is our content, how wide it will be. So we can come straight to the other sections, and we can also give them the same width that we want. We give it 900. Come to the section settings, then select 900. So that's how it will be like. Then also the other sections, this other section, which is actually appearing in our footer section. So let's give it also a 900. Really looks beautiful. And let's preview how it looks like right now. Cool. Now when we preview, well and good, everything looks centered, nice and sweet. So what I need to do is come back here, update. Once it's updated, then we come back to the home page, reload our home page, and boom, this is how it looks like. Really nice. Everything now is tight right within the 900 pixels for our site width. Okay, it doesn't look like as if it's flowing out or the page is bloated with a lot of content. Everything now looks nice and simple. So what we now need to do is to now edit our content that is on the very first section. We come back to our page builder, come to the very first section, right here in the very first section, we can change our content. For example, we can say this digital school in town, or for example, we can change the size of this font right here. We can increase or decrease the size of the font, but I want it to just be like this. We may come to this button. We can choose either to be right aligned, or we want it to be centered. We may also want this to be centered, and also make this title to be centered right here. And then I'll make this join the class, and we can link this to an existing page. We can say contact, and then it will bring up our contact page, which is get the gifts. So right here, and then we can style up our button to basically match our theme colors. So the background color is going to be green. So we grab our green color here, bring our green color right here, paste our green color. So now we have changed our button color. Now we have to change the hover color, and the hover color in this case is going to be our orange. Come right here with our orange color, change the hover color. So once we hover here, we have our orange color. So once you have that now effected, we can also choose to have a green color for our title, or like for example, you can come over here to the heading, which is the title, come to style, and then you can say the color is supposed to be green, or you can choose any other color that you want to display in the title, but we'll leave it at black. So we can now also change our background image. For example, by coming over to the background image, we can choose a background image, the one that we think will suit what we want. However, there are also websites where you can get images from. For example, pixels.com is a good place. Pixels.com. You can get free stock images. So we can come over here, look up for images that can work for us. So we can say school. We can grab over this image. Looks nice. We can download that image in the size that we want. For now, we may want this size, okay, and then we can download it for free, or we can show in the folder. Then we can rename our image digital school. I can just move it to the desktop folder, paste it right here. Then we can close Pixels as a platform, come right here, choose an image, come to upload files right here, come to our digital school image, and then we upload our image. Once we have our image uploaded, just copy the title, we make it the alt text. Like I said, this helps like in case the image doesn't show up. So we have to change the color mode, and we increase the opacity, and then come here and change our overlay color to a color that we want. So we want it to be white, and then we are going to reduce the tint for the white. We reduce a little bit, and then we can now move the whole of this text box. We can move it to the other section. We could also move this title to be right in the middle here. Remove this, and then we could have this element center vertical align in the middle. We could have our home page just like that, and we could also make changes here on our typography. Like instead of it being uppercase, we make it capitalized. We can change the font to Montezora, which is this font. Then we make the image that it is fixed, so that when someone scrolls like this, they can see all the details in the image. Once you are done with that, you can update here our home page, and once we update that, this is how it looks like. So once you are done with that, making the changes that you want on the first element on the home page, we can now also move to the next elements. If you don't want this section right here, you can simply delete this section. These are numbers, and we can also change them to the color that we want. And for example, we have our green, so just come over here, come to this element, come to the style, and you can change it to your color. The same for this, and same for this. You see this image that is in the background is actually a fixed image, just like we did for the very first image, and it's having an overlay color, and you can still change those images by coming to the style section and change the styling. On top of that, we can add another section. We can simply click up here, and then we can add a section, and when we click on the add new section, we just select the layout we want to use and come over here and say map. Once you grab this Google map, it will come just right here, and you can give it the layout you want. You want it to be fitting in the 900 canvas size, and we can put in our address. Let me say if our address is Cape Town, so we have our address as Cape Town, so it will show up right here. You can select how the zoom percentage will be, and the height of the map 315. We can also use the navigation element in Elementor to actually move this element to a very other section. For example, we want it to be on the second last, so that means we are putting it right just below here on the footer. And then we can give it some padding on top and bottom. We just click right here, come to the advanced section and give it a padding. So this padding, we want it to be only on top and bottom, so you have to unlink these options. Give it like 50 at the top, and we give it also 50 at the bottom. We give it 100, and also at the top we leave it at 50. There are more other things you can do to make edits. You can give it some motion effects. For example, you want it to fade in when someone is scrolling down, or you want it to fade in from the left, or you want it to just fade in like it's coming from the footer. I think this looks nice, so we want it probably to fade in a bit slow. So when I update this, I come to the home page, I reload the home page, then I am going to scroll down, and you see our map. Boom. So when someone continues down, then they'll see this. Next thing may be that we can change testimonial section. We have these people, we have the testimonial section. We can edit the testimonials by adding the testimonial element. Example here, testimonial. First of all, you have to create a column for the testimonial, and then you can drag the testimonial element right within here. Then you add the info, their name, and all that content. The other thing would be still, for example, on this button, make changes on our background color, and we can also give it a foreground color, which is actually the hover color, like also, so that we could also bold up our main section of the main element on our home page. So we can give it the width of about maybe 900, something like that. All these other elements, like I said, you can also change. For example, the title and description for this, the title is actually in this color, but also when we come to the style, we can change the content styling. For example, for the title, we can switch it to our black, okay, and we can do the same for all the other elements. Example, content, come right here, switch to black, come to the other style, switch to black, switch to green actually, sorry, and then you update. So when we come to our home page, we reload. That's what we have. So next, now what we are going to do is we are going to go and edit our contact page. So once you are done with the home page, actually realize instead of writing best digital school in town, I had wrote best digital in town, so I just corrected that. So anyway, so once you are done making the changes you want on the home page, basically this tutorial is to show you exactly the possibilities you have when you're creating your website, that you actually don't need any technical skills. By clicking on any of these elements, you can, for example, like here we can say benefits of working out, and you can edit literally anything right within here. And here you can bring the text, you can bold here, you can delete what you don't want, you can move elements from one side to the other, you can bring this on top here by dragging it, you can drag it again down here. So literally you have limitless possibilities when you are working on the page build. Once you're done with that, we update. So we are now going to exit to the dashboard and we are going to open our contact page. We go to pages, then we open the contact page, which is get fit. We say edit with Elementor. Just opened in the new tab. I just command and clicked on Mac, or you can simply control click on the PC. I said you can change a number of things. We would want to have our studio hours there. Someone doesn't have to scroll down here just to see where the contact form is. So we would want to move the contact form maybe just this side. So I'm just going to do something very small. We are going to duplicate this. Once we have that duplicated, we are going to delete whatever is inside. We are going to add another column, and then so that we have two columns. And now we are going to drag this element, put it in the first column, get this other element for the icon, put it there, get this other element, put it in this other column still, then get our hours and just drag this section to this other section of ours, which is an inner section. And basically we can delete this and delete this here, and then that means we can also have our dates here. So that means we can create a section, or we can basically duplicate this and we can just write and say Monday to Friday we are open from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and also Saturday to Sunday we are open from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and you can decide how you want them to be aligned or the size, but I think I can reduce on the size, font size, to make it just a little bit like 12. Okay, like 14 maybe would work. Same here for the style, typography, 14. And I can also reduce a bit on the size of the font typography for the studio address. Can make it like this a little bit, and then now we can grab our contact form, which is here, but first we may grab the title. We grab this, drag it up here, and we can just come to this element. You can drag, but also you can say copy and come to this section and say paste, and then you can say write to us, write me a mail, and I can change this now to lower, like capitalize. It's called capitalize actually, and I can give it the same font size as the studio address, and then I come to the contact form. This form is made possible by a plugin called WP Forms, which is this form. So you just come over here to WP Forms in the dashboard, and you are able to create a form. So when you add a new form, so it can be a blank form, a simple contact form, or a newsletter form. So this is actually a newsletter form, but also there can also be suggestion forms. So when you say create form, you create that form and you are in position to add a number of form elements to the way you want. So in this case, when we come here, we have this option, but it looks like we are requiring someone to give us their name, their email, the email subject, the message. So which we wouldn't want. We just want someone to type the message, give us the email and their name. So if we create our form, which is this, for example, this is the name. So the name, we can just say we only want to be a simple one without asking them first, last, or middle name, first, middle, and last name. So we just want just a name, and we make it required by checking this option, and then also for the email, and then the comment or message that they are sending us. But you can add a number of other elements if you wish to, but in this case these are what we want. Once you are done, you just save contact form, and then you are going to get a shortcode. The shortcode is actually what you are going to use here on this form on our contact page, which is here. This is the shortcode for the contact form. So when you are here, you can say get fit contact. So you save. Once you save, since we already created our form, we get the shortcode. So we copy this and we close, come right here, and then we replace the shortcode. In case we never had this form, we could just come right here and say we search for shortcode, for a shortcode element. So shortcode element, come right here, paste our shortcode element, paste a shortcode right there, and boom, we have our contact form appearing just the way we had created it, with a name and email and message box, and somewhere someone to click and send. But right now here, this looks a little bit funny, so we can just do a little bit of styling. Like for example, we may want everything, the vertical align, to be middle. Once you have that set up, then we can delete this other section that we don't need, and then we also delete this contact form that is here that we don't need, and we also delete the map. So to do that one by one, it doesn't make sense. You can just delete the whole section. You can change this heading to contact us today, and then here you can add a number of sections that you want, but you may not want maybe even this to be there, and maybe you may not want this subtitle to be there, so that you only have this, and then you may don't want this to be this large, so you may change the typography to capitalize and reduce the size to to about 45, and yep, looks nice and neat. So you can save. I want to show you one more option that will make your design work more easier, or your customizing work more easier. When you add here a new section, when you add the section, that means you can add a couple of elements right inside this section. However, I may show you also that you can import a number of other sections and blocks into this section. Here we can add templates. We can make use of elements that have already been created by Elementor, and here a couple of free elements that we can import into our design and we can customize them. So for example, like clicking right here, you can insert this element. At the same time, you can come over here and get the blocks that you wish to use anywhere on your website. And there are a number of free blocks that have been pre-made by Elementor, and you can just import them onto your page and you are able to customize them and use them all over anywhere on your website. So let's add a template. Come right here on the template icon. At the moment we just want to add a block, not a full page template. So we come to blocks, and boom, here are all now the blocks that have already been pre-made by Elementor. Of course, it's a mixture of pro and free elements, but you get the idea. So once you are here and you look for a template that really works for you, or one that you could wish to implement on your website, you can simply just say insert. And once you say insert, that means it's now going to import this template into your website. Now, this is how it looks like. Now, what you have to do is very simple. You can customize it to what you want. You can give it the colors you wish to have. For example, you can change the background color. You can do a number of tweaks on this template that you have imported. And on the other hand, you can also change the fonts and then the styling, and then you can also add elements right from this side. For example, you can add another element right here, which is, for example, an image element, and you can add an image right there. And then you can do a lot more other tricks. At the same time, you can duplicate this section by right clicking up right here, and then you duplicate the section and have the same section down here, and then continue with your customizations. So guys, that's how you can actually use the already pre-made blocks in Elementor and implement them in your web projects. But remember that we had created our form and we saved it, so we can close right here, contact form. And I want you to know that when someone uses this form to send you a message, this is what happens in the back end. So we go to settings, notifications. When someone sends an email, it goes to the admin email. This is the email address that is right here. Let me show you. Settings, general. This is the email address that every email that will be sent from that form will be sent. So you have to make sure that you have access to that email address. You can create it from your hosting cPanel. Maybe I can just show you that in a moment. For example, you go to your domain, like cPanel. You log into your cPanel, and then come right down here to email accounts. So under email accounts, you can create a new email account, and then you can create an email account for someone. For example, this is going to be admin, okay? And then you can create a password for them, generate that password for them, and then you can specify the size that you want to give that email address. So now I can check the email. So basically here you'll be accessing your email via the webmail. So you can select the default email software. I always choose round cube. So now you already have a professional email. You can also create an email via your name, maybe Sophie, maybe Jocelyn or John at yourwebsitename.com. To log into that email address, you just come to your website /webmail, and then here you come to your webmail, then you enter your email address, name, and boom, you are logged into your email address. And to log out of your email address, you basically just come here to log out, and you are done with email settings. So now you have an email address under your hosting and you are good to go. So like I said, all those emails that are sent via this form, they come to the admin email, which admin email is set here. And also now on the other side, the subject will be the name of the contact form, and you can also change this to what you want. Let me say get fit website, so that when you receive emails to your email, you know where it actually comes from. And then from name, this will be the name of the website. You can also change this, which is because this is basically reflecting to the name of the website. And then the from email, this will be now the admin email, but you can change it to be the email of the sender, and then the reply to, which is the form one field. So the reply to is the ID which is happening on the form 1, which is this field. The message will basically display all form fields. So that's how you can know or set up and see how do you get the notification for your email. And then the confirmation, once someone sends you an email, this is what shows once the email is successful. So you can change this to what you wish, like thank you for writing us. Soon we will write you. So you save. So now you have set up your contact form and you know how to get emails once someone writes you an email via your website. So we have set up our contact page and the contact form. Now we are set. Maybe now what we have to do is to view that page. You basically have to go to our home page on the website, and then we go to the contact me, and this is how it looks like. Contact us today, write me a mail. This is the address and the name, and they can submit here, and yeah, this is the footer and all that stuff. So that's how you set up your contact page. Now when we look at the about me page, basically what you have been in position to do on all the other pages on the home, editing this information, changing the pictures, changing this content right here, and adding elements. You just have to sit down and yeah, say I want to add here like a testimonial, I want to add here a text element, I want to add in the background an image. Maybe what I would also want to show you is this shape that is looking like this. You can easily make them in Elementor. Let me show you right here. When we click on this element and we come to the style and we go to shape divider, and then we have the top, then there is something called waves. So these are waves, and you can change to any type of shapes you want. For example, they are appearing at the top. We can say clouds. We can say, let me see, mountains or something. Mountains, let me see, mountains. See, you can make the changes. You can increase the way you want. You can change their color. You can, flip whatever you want. Can increase. You can even put this is what normally other people are putting on their sites, like this. Then this can be, oops, okay, you can give it like okay, this is a white. This is something like this, a V, which is an arrow. And then you can reduce on the height so that it looks like just continuing from up. So depending on what you want. The same thing right here. they just added those shapes to this, for example, shape divider. So they added the shapes to this element and they added the wave brush. Looks like this widget is actually out of the size we set. It's supposed to be 900. Like you have to do it for every other page because it is not a global setting. So just say update, and then we update here which page we're working on. It was a contact page. So when we go to the contact page, you see the arrow coming down here, and then this text now right within our shape width size. Now we are done setting up our pages. Now let's go to see how we can publish blog posts. So to be able actually to start publishing blog posts, everything will appear under posts, and this is where all our posts will be, will be appearing from. Anything that we publish on our website will come under right here, but we need to first set up something, and let me show you what that means. When we come to our blog and we click on one of the blog posts, now I want you to look here in the URL. It is showing the year, the month, and the date that blog post was made. Now this is not what I want us to have in our URLs. We want it to be a clean URL without any numbers. So this is because, first of all, user friendly. The person who is visiting the URL, they are more familiar to the URL without the numbers, but also it's search engine friendly, because then the search engine will easily read through your blog and know, okay, this is a blog that actually talks about this so and so topic. So to change that, we basically have to come to settings and we come to permalinks. So we, instead of using the day and time, we are going to change to post name, and then we save changes. Once you save changes, you come back to your blog, reload the blog archive page, click on that blog post, and now watch what appears. So that's how now you can have user-friendly and search-friendly URLs for your WordPress blogs. So once you are done with that, we are now going to go to the posts. So apparently it is showing the author. The author is being shown as admin, but we don't want, when we publish our blog posts, everything here is showing by admin, right? So how do we do that? We just come to our dashboard, go to users, all users. And this is what is appearing. The admin is appearing as the user. So you want that the admin or whoever is publishing the blog posts, their name appears. In this name, I'm going to say digital team, digital school, digital editor. So if it's your name, you just write it here. So once you come here, display name publicly as, you come here and say digital editor, or the format you wish, and then you say save. Once you save, when you reload this page, you realize that the writer is now changing to the digital editor. And on the other hand, remember we have our posts and we have categories for our posts. So these are the different categories. When we look at our blog posts at the moment, they are all under yoga, because we imported posts from a website that was for yoga training and all that stuff. So when we come back to our posts, we are going to switch the different posts that are available here to the different categories we would wish to have our posts attached to. For example, if this my yoga journey, if we wanted to go to a specific category, we just click here on the quick edit, and then we say maybe coaching, we update, and then if this post belongs to a different category, we just come right here and say digital spaces. In case we want to do a bulk edit, we can just select all of them and we assign them to a specific category. But in this case, we don't want this blog post which is appearing under hello world. We can trash that. When I come to trash now, it has been trashed. I can delete permanently. Go back to all our posts. Click here on top of that title box. Then say edit, bulk edit. And then we can now do the bulk editing by assigning probably all these posts to all the categories or a single category. But that's not what we want to do. So at the moment, we can just assign each and every blog post to a specific individual category. Let me say now this, we want maybe to put it under digital spaces, and then we update. So that's how you assign blog posts to different categories once they are already published. However, if we want to write a new blog post, so we say add new, and we give that blog post a name. Digital schools era. Okay, and then you can now write your blog post. Just grab this text here, paste it here, and then now we can do the edits for our blog post. You can assign a paragraph, you can bold a specific element within the paragraph. You can say I want to bold this. You can say I want to move this paragraph, to come first. You can say I want to just create a new other paragraph. So you can just copy this, okay? And then you can say insert after and then add that, okay? And then you can even add, for example, an image. When you click here in the space and come right here on top of one of the block, you can just say add image. Then you can go and upload an image, or if you want to select from the library, you can just come over here to the library and select an image that you want to use. Maybe this for your blog posts. Boom, so you have your image right there, and then you can, resize your image. You can write your image caption right here. And then you can decide on the side of the image from this side without, basically dragging and dropping this side. You can add links within here. You can say, I want this specific word to link to an older blog post. So I can say, search for that blog, and that will come from already existing blog posts. For example, 5 rules of yoga. And then you can want, for example, to link out to a specific other website. So you can just highlight whatever you want to link out, click right here, and then you can say you add maybe that website wiki.com, and then you can say link to a new tab. So when someone clicks on this, they will just go to a new tab for that website called wiki. And on top of that, you can, for example, let me show you how you can now also add several other elements like gallery. You can add, let me say it's a video. You can add a video right here from a URL. Let me say that is from YouTube. Let me say create a blog in 10 minutes. Copy this URL, come over here, paste that URL here, and boom. So it's going to embed that video right here in our blog post, okay? So once you are done with creating your blog post, basically what you need to do is to publish that blog post and then publish immediately. But actually I've realized this after publishing the blog post, but before we do the publication, we had also to make sure that we assign our blog to a specific category, okay? Let me just close this over here, then come to document, then there is something called categories. And here we can assign our blog to a specific category. So you can say this is falling under digital spaces, but you can also assign on different other categories. So you can say update. And remember, we can also set a featured image for a blog. Okay, so how do we do that? We come over here to featured image, select a featured image, and select a featured image you want, set the featured image, and then you update. So when we come to our blog archive over here, you realize that we have a new blog post, okay, appearing on our blog archive. This is the featured image, the title is here, digital schools era, and someone can read more. When I click read more, then it opens in a new tab. I can read all this information. I can even watch this video. I can go and link out. I can go and read about what you linked to, which is actually a wiki. When you look down here in the corner, you'll see that link. And when you see this, then it's actually linking to already an existing blog post. And actually people can comment on this blog. Okay, so that now gives you an idea of how you can write blog posts and publish them. The other thing maybe I can add on is, for example, if you don't want a category, like now this category which is called yoga, we don't want it anymore. First of all, I'm going to come right here to categories. Then I'm going to come to yoga. Then I'm going to delete. But when I delete, the existing 4 posts that are attached to yoga are going to go automatically to uncategorized. So we're going to delete that. Reload our page. You see now in uncategorized we have blog posts that are attached to it. We can now go back to our posts and assign the relevant posts that have to be on a specific post. So that you can do as you wish. But also I want to show you that you can also import blog posts that you have already on your existing blog. So you don't have to worry about copying and pasting. What you have to do is just come to tools, import, and if you have already an existing blog that is in Blogger or using probably another platform, in Tumblr you can import content from there. For example, if you have content that is from already an existing WordPress blog, you can just import that content. If you have one that is from Blogger, you just install this. So I'm going to import posts that I exported from an existing WordPress blog. So I run the importer. So I basically install the import plugin. Then now I browse for the blog posts. I come to download. I come here, I search for the file that was exported. I select it, I import the file. Once I import the file, then here I can select the editor who will appear to be like the author of the imported blog posts. Then I can also download the attachments. This includes the images. Boom. So now I have imported those blog posts. Now when I come to the post section, all posts, you realize that now I have more other blogs that have been published. Now when these blogs are imported, they come with the specific categories that were attached to them when they were being exported. So you can still have to have a job of having to recategorize those blog posts. Now when we go to our blog page, we click here, you realize that on the archive page we are going to have more other blogs. You see, and which other one? You see, now it also has brought another page. This setting for the next page is given to you by the default settings from Astra. So you see all this. Now you can also open up and read about those specific blog posts that you imported, all that content. Okay, so looks nice and neat. Once you're done with setting up your blogs, congratulations on now learning how actually to publish content, categorize content, import content, into your WordPress blog. So welcome back. Now you remember very well that we created pages, the privacy policy page and the terms of use page. And these pages are basically directing users how to use our website. So most of these pages are at the moment empty or blank, and that means we have to put content there. So by default, when you install WordPress of recent, they give you a default privacy policy page that you can easily edit and have it work for your page. Now this is okay, you can edit it to your liking and how you will maintain and preserve the privacy of your website visitors. However, for the terms of use, you will have to get an attorney and draft the terms of use for your website. However, there are already some websites where you can generate terms of use generator by googling it here. You get websites where you can generate terms of use for your website, and you should make sure that you customize them and basically they reflect what your website is all about. So for example, generate terms of use, and right here you have to enter your country. Let me say South Africa. The next step for the website, you enter your URL, and then the website name, then business type, and then you basically have to make sure that whatever you are trying to feed in here, the results basically reflects to what your business is. But the best advice would be that you get an attorney and you craft the terms of use for your WordPress website. So once you get actually a terms of use, you basically just come to pages, terms of use. Under the page, you edit. Once here it loads up, then you come over down here and add the information that you want to add right under that page. This is not what I want to add here. It can be whatever information that you have created for your terms of use. Then you come right here, page, add that information, and you are good to go for your terms of use. Update page, and once the page is updated, you can just view the page right here, and boom, you have your terms of use and policy created. The other thing I want to tell you about is that if you have a blog, you would want to have people subscribe to an email list of your blog, and so that you probably could send them updates, and you can use that either by providing opt-ins here or providing pop-ups on your blog. So let me show you how you can add a pop-up on your WordPress blog. So to do that, you basically have to go to the dashboard, come here to plugins, add new plugin. We are going to use the Elementor Pro version. By default, we have the free plugin that comes with the Astra starter sites when we import. So for us to be able to create those pop-ups, we have to have the pro version of Elementor. You basically go to gotechug.com/Elementor. I'll put down the links like gotechug.com/Elementor. So that URL basically takes you to Elementor, and you're in position actually to purchase the pro version of Elementor, and you can do a lot more other things, like you have over 300 plus pro templates, a theme builder, WooCommerce builder, pop-up builder. So this is what we are going to use at the moment. So once you are done having that pro version of the plugin, we can simply come back to our website back end, then you upload the plugin you got. So Elementor Pro, then install. After installing, you'll activate, and then after running the activation, then you are in position actually to start creating the pop-ups. So to do that, basically come now to the pop-ups, because now we have the pro version, then now we can be in position to create a pop-up. So You can name it here opt-in. Then you create the template for the pop-up. And right here, Elementor gives us a number of pop-up templates that have been developed by them. So we can simply just drag here and get a pop-up template and we use on our website. This can be you or any other person. So we don't want to use any of the templates here. I can just close this over. And then I can come over here, a section I want to be using. Come right here, select on the section settings. Give it a minimum height, like 400 is a good start. Then come over here, so you can add a title like join my list. You can center it, and then you can add here another element. For example, you can add actually a video, like a video testimonial right there, and you can add a button here, or you can add a form, or you can add an opt-in form right here, or you can add a button so that they are redirected to a landing page. Give this section padding, top, bottom. So you can do any kind of stylings. So you can say here opt-in. You can style this button to the way you want. Background, you can give it this color or give it something more fancy. Looks fine. And then you can also change the size of that button, but also the most important is now here on the link and how you want button where to take whoever is clicking on the button. For example, if you have a landing page already created, you can just send them to that page, or if you want to send them to the contact page, you can send them to that page. And then once you're done setting up your pop-up, you can just publish. When you say publish, then here you have the conditions, and you can set how you want it to appear. You can say entire site. You can say you want it only to pop up when someone is on the singular pages, which are actually the posts. Then when you come to the triggers, you want to trigger this pop-up on click on something, on after activity of a certain period of time, on page exit. Now this is something interesting. When someone wants to close your blog upon reading the blog posts, then this pop-up will show up. Then advanced rules, you can select where actually to show after a number of page views, show after X number of sessions, show up after X number of times. But for me, what I want here to select is show after on certain devices. I wouldn't want this pop-up to show up on a mobile. It wouldn't be a good user experience. So once I have that set up, I save and close. So once I save and close, now I can have a look at my pop-up. So once I intend to close, it will show up. This is the beauty of such pop-ups. So when someone wants to close your website, your blog, this pop-up shows up. Now you can show them whatever information or something, an introduction video, or you can put here an opt-in where people can just fill in their name and email address, and then they submit it to you so that you can always reach out to them. I'll link up a video in the card or in the description on how you can integrate your WordPress website with MailChimp, or how you can integrate Elementor with MailChimp so that you can collect all these emails from your website visitors. So once you have that set up, we close this over. Now we know that whoever is intending to close our website will be shown a pop-up. Now let's come over here to the home page. Now when I go to up here, a pop-up is going to, or it's come up right here. This is something you should try out so that you can maximize as many opt-ins as possible. So once that is done, I'm going to show you 12 more things you have to do for your blog. One is a plugin called JetPack. Another plugin is called Yoast. So to add these two plugins, you come to plugins, add new. Once you're done here, then you have to search for a plugin called JetPack, but at the moment I already see it here, so install. And the other plugin you have to add is called Yoast. I'm going to tell you the importance of these two plugins at the moment to you as someone who is going to be writing a blog. So it's called Yoast SEO. Install, activate. Good thing about Yoast SEO, which is a plugin from Yoast, it guides you when you're writing your content and also helps you optimize your blogs so that the search engine can easily index them or can easily read them and index them. And in the same spirit, Yoast helps you to set up your website so that it can be easily indexed by the search engine. So to set up Yoast, you come over here on the left hand side of the menu, come to General. I'm going to give you a walkthrough on how to set up your Yoast. Basically, when you come over here to the General, it's basically giving you the heads up on what's happening. Then when you come to search appearance, so the search appearance is basically where you can set up how your website will appear in the search engine result pages. So you want the title separator to look like this. Let me show you. GoTech UG is actually my blog. So what we are trying to set up at the moment is that when you write your blogs, do you want them to have this kind of title separator? Do you want them to have this kind of separation which is appearing here? You want it to be longer, you want it to be like a pipe. So that is what you're trying to set up here. Then the organization, if you're an individual, just set up here that you're an individual. And then here it says error, select a user below to make your site meta complete. So here you can select a user for your website, and then you can select an avatar. So that can be an image or something like that. So we go to the content types. Then there is something called the post settings for the URLs. You can show posts in search engine. You can show date, a snippet preview. By default, Yoast makes it that you hide it, but if you want it to show, you can show it here. Then show the Yoast SEO meta box. This is what appears when you are trying to write your content for the blogs. You want the title of the page, the separator, and the site title actually to appear in the search engine results. And then for the media, you want attachments and media URLs to be indexed in the search engine. Then taxonomies, this will take you through the categories. You want that the categories appear in the search engine result pages. I always disable this. I don't want single categories, that's category archives, to appear in the search engine result pages, but I only want the blog posts always to appear in the search engine result pages. The SEO title, so I just want the term, the page separator, and site title. If you want the tags to appear in the search engine result pages, you enable them, but for me I don't want to enable them. And what this means is that when someone is visiting your blog and they are reading, for example, a post that is under coaching, it means that it is going to show this word category, because coaching is a category. You don't want this to appear on your blogs. So what you do is actually remove the category prefix. Okay, so you say remove. So when you say remove, you save changes. So when you save changes, now let me come back here and say conferences. Now it won't appear anymore. Before it was showing / categories / conferences, but now it doesn't appear anymore. Let me go back to coaching. That's what we were trying now to effect. So Yoast enables you to have that, because it's also not good for your search engine appearance. So when we go to archives, so you can set up how your archives are going to look like. So all these settings are basically how you want it to look like for you and your website. So here you can disable the breadcrumbs to appear in the search engine, which is totally okay. Then the search also, I'm seeing actually something new. Basically here they're saying they won't be able to display any more crawl errors in Yoast. So under the search appearance, what it actually helps you is that you have to get to know about your website. And this means that you will authenticate the Google platform with your website. What you're going to do is basically you're going to connect Google, which is a search console, and you connect it to your website so that it can easily read whatever is happening on your website. So you basically click right here, and then you can easily sign into your Google account, get that code, and you will paste that code here and then authenticate. That means you'll have connected the Google Search Console to your website. If you don't do that, it will take long, or if even never, for Google to get to know about the content you're publishing. And then the other sections, you may either provide the information here or you may not, but the most important section is the Search Console and the search appearance. Once that is done, then now we can head back to plugins, and then we can set up our JetPack plugin. So JetPack is here, we activate. Once it's activated, before we start setting up, JetPack helps you that it monitors your website uptime and security, and the other feature is that it gives you the possibility to share your blog posts automatically to social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. So that means it saves you a lot of time again having to republish the same type of content to other platforms, yet actually JetPack can do it for you automatically once you publish your content. So we can set up JetPack by clicking setup, and basically JetPack requires you to have a WordPress.com account created. It's WordPress.com. So signing up is for free. You don't need to do anything from there. What basically JetPack wants from you is an account where you can easily sync your logins with them. So basically here you are connecting JetPack to WordPress.com so that it can now easily be able for you to configure JetPack for your WordPress website. So once you are here, then you just skip everything here. You start for free. You don't need to buy anything. Then you can just continue. Got it. So once we come back now to our dashboard, there is a JetPack dashboard, and right here it gives you statistics of what is happening on your website. You go to the settings, and under settings here you can do a couple of more other things for your website to set up. The most important for me is under sharing, and then you just come over to automatically share your posts to social networks. When you enable this, then JetPack will ask you to connect the social media accounts. When you select that, it's going to bring you to the JetPack, the WordPress.com platform, and then you can connect your website to Facebook. When you say this, then it's going to make you connect to your Facebook page or your Facebook account, and then connect JetPack to your Facebook. And the same thing for Twitter. You can just click here and then connect to your Twitter. What you have to do is basically sign into your Twitter and be in position to provide those details. Once you are done setting up that, you basically just have to close here and know that every time you're going to be publishing your content, it will be automatically shared to social media platforms. That's it for JetPack. For me, those are the two most important features: the downtime monitoring whenever your website is down, and then the other one is about automatically sharing to social media platforms. But of course, JetPack has a ton of other powerful features like brute force attack protection, and like suggesting relevant content to your website reader so that they don't just read one content and go away. They can still see other related kind of posts on your website. So a lot more. So those you can actually look through here, read through, and see which one to configure. They are all just a click away. Once you are done setting up your JetPack and your Yoast settings, now we are going to test for mobile responsiveness of our website. So to test for mobile responsiveness, we're going to come right here, mobile responsive test. Click over here, and then right here you are going to enter your website domain. So just select our domain, come over here, paste our website domain, and test the URL. So Google will tell us whether our website is mobile responsive or not. So I should select the lights. That's all. Okay. So So once our website is mobile responsive, then Google will tell us, yes, right, our website is mobile responsive. If it's not mobile responsive, then there is an issue that we have to fix. However, the good thing with using Astra theme and Elementor, everything will be mobile responsive and we'll be sure that our website will be easily accessed by our visitors. So right now it says page is mobile friendly, which is super fine. So once that is done, though it looks like we can fix something on our home page so that this button is centered. That aside, the rest looks really fine. The logo, the hamburg menu, and the other side. So we can now go and check on the responsive settings of our home page. So we basically have to come to Pages, and then we can click on the home page and say Edit with Elementor. And once it opens up here, then we are going to come to the extreme left hand side, and there is this lower bar here, and it has a couple of options, and there is this option here that shows you responsive mode. So when you click right here, then you have different devices that you can display your website on. So in this case, we can also display on the tablet. So by viewing on a tablet, we may see how our website will look like. At the same time, we can also view on the mobile. So let's try to view on the tablet, and now we can assign how we want our widgets to appear like. In this case, basically these columns, when we look at this column, it is using up the whole of this space, so we can give it like a 50% here on the column with percentage. We give it a 50%, and we also give this other column that is holding the button, and we give it also a 50%. That will move both our elements to be on the same line on the mobile view. So we can also at the same time increase on our minimum height on the mobile view, and that means that we can say like here on the minimum height, so we can reduce that and we make it like maybe like a 400. The same we can come to a mobile device, how it will also appear like, and here we can also reduce that, which is also the minimum height. We can reduce it to about 200. Once we have 200 set, then we can now align our elements to be centered right in the middle. We can also increase the space between these two lines. So we do that from the style, typography, and we come right down here on the line height. When we increase a bit on the line height, then we have some more space between the two words. So when we come back to the tablet mode, we can also do the same. We come to typography, line height, we increase a bit on the line height. And then when we come also to the desktop, it looks like the minimum height increased gradually on the whole element. So we can come right here, and then we can decrease a bit on the minimum height so that it doesn't look really out of hand, something like this. So let me see on the mobile, on the tablet, and then the mobile. Well, now this looks nice and sweet. So we can now hit update. Once you hit update, now you will have already affected the mobile responsive options of your website. You can do the same thing for all the other pages so that you can easily make sure that your pages are mobile responsive on all devices. So once you're done, you close over this, exit to dashboard. So once that is done, then now we are going to test for speed. So speed test, website speed test, and there is a website still from Google. Test your website speed, and if your website is going slow, it will show you that actually your website is very slow. And if your website is very slow, then we can also optimize our website for speed. So now apparently it looks like our website is really slow. Also on the desktop version, it is actually in the medium. So how can we do to make our website fast? You are going to go to www.gotechug.com/NitroPack. So basically NitroPack is a cloud website performance platform or infrastructure that actually optimizes the website for you, so you don't have to use a couple of plugins to optimize your website. So when you are here at NitroPack, you can enter in your website. So once here NitroPack gives us the results, it will give us an idea how it is in position to improve our website speed. So apparently these are the results we are having. The score is 11 on mobile and the score is 56. So once we integrate with NitroPack, it says the mobile score will improve to 50 and the desktop score will improve to 88. But it can be either less or better. The good thing, we can start for free, but once you wish to upgrade, you can come over here to pricing, the light plan at 19 per month, and then you have up to 20,000 page optimizations and 1 GB available resource storage. Basically, the beauty about NitroPack is that it doesn't optimize your website using again your host resources or your server resources. It uses its own resources and serves your website through the Amazon automatic CDN, and NitroPack automatically deploys your website using the Amazon CDN, which is pretty an interesting feature, and you don't have to spend hours and hours trying to optimize your website. I actually made a tutorial on my channel on YouTube, and basically it shows you step by step on how you can speed up your WordPress website using NitroPack step by step. It comes with a starter pack of 5,000 optimizations, and that means you can use those 5,000 optimizations every other month so that you can be in position to optimize your website for free. Once you're done with setting up your website speed and optimization, we will now roll this up. So guys, since now we have finally optimized our website for speed, we have also checked our website for mobile responsiveness, and we have created a pop-up capture for our visitors and a lot more other things. Now what we need to do is actually to set up the HTTPS for our website so that when our visitors are coming, they see that our website is secure. So how do we do that? I've actually already created a video on that. I'm going to link it up in the description below, how you can actually install Cloudflare free SSL on your WordPress website. You can just follow it step by step. It's 6 minutes. Once you're done with your website, you can just integrate it here, and then you are good to get started with securing your website using actually Cloudflare. Once you're done setting up HTTPS for your website, I would say that congratulations on creating your first blog. Now that you are in position to get a domain name, set up your hosting, install WordPress, set up a theme, customize your website, create blogs, create pages, write blog posts, categorize them, optimize your website for the search engine. That's all a lot kind of material in one day, and don't say if you're confused a little bit or you didn't get anything. Well, feel free to ask me in the comment box below, but when you try to watch this tutorial over and over again, you'll also realize that you understand some concepts that you didn't understand in the first take. And just in case you think anything is missing out, feel free to let me know in the comment box below, and in case you want me to help you somewhere, feel free to contact me in the comment box below also. Well, in case I didn't put anything right, I apologize for that, or I didn't explain anything well for you, I apologize for that. But my main motive was to give you the best that you can kickstart, even from not spending a lot of money, and so that you can have your blog started and you can start writing blogs on your website. Thank you so much for spending time to watch this tutorial. It has been a long couple of minutes to have you here. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Peace.